I'm always here. I'm always here to throw you under the bus, Sesh.
I'll take it.
It's fine.
It's a horrible bus.
I love you really, but sort of not at the same time. But we are going to be getting into Haven. This is a map where, again, like we haven't seen a whole lot from BBL with this specific composition, at least against like the top teams within the region. Like we have our big three coming out of Turkey, and we haven't got to see them play against any of them. So this will be the first real test. I do like watching a little bit of Astra. I think Boaster got us quite excited, and already mentioned Turkish teams mention that they like to try and take this map control. Well, they're going very aggressive and also use it as a little fake. The bait and switch from Aslan as he'll take the first blood.
Absolutely wonderful to see such a bait and switch come in. Screams though, thank you very much for the free orb. I'll take that. Something we will definitely notice a lot in this game is that there's going to be an absolute spam of orbs, but in the meantime, it's a spam of ghost shots going accurately into the face of Cryptics, putting another one down. Link and Yampy are the only two to make a difference right now for Liquid, as Link will try, turn around, finds the dink, but it ain't it. This leaves it down to the lonely but very skillful Finn. Here's a player just to his left-hand side, but look how they fortified that ground. Of course it is Yumpy. He's taking shots from left, right, and center. Isn't sucked in yet, but has to take a long way around. And this is gonna be a clutch that I don't see happening. At the same time, never say never.
No, I'm gonna say never. You might say never say never. If he manages to win this one, I think we just end the game here, because this is a 1 versus 5. He's going to walk into an alarm bot as well, which will give all the information over to AIM DLL if he decides to go that way. And even if he doesn't, you look at the current positioning, he's going to have to basically jump down into his opponent's face. So even though they've managed to stack things up onto the C site, I just don't see a way that he's going to be able to avoid all of these remaining players. Decent read, but it doesn't matter. The advantage is always going to go the way of BBL. And this is, as said, what I'm kind of worried for a lot of the European teams. Like, I don't doubt for a second that Sliggy's done his research. That man is research. Like that's what he does. He wants to stream for you guys. He's still researching at the same time as it. So I don't doubt that he is very well prepared for this roster, but I do think there's one thing of being prepared for a team to get up in your face and pressure you consistently and actually dealing with that, because even if you have players like Scream waiting on the other side, sometimes someone like Aslan is going to take your head clean off.
That's the thing, right? I mean, there's not only a Belgian headshot machine. Turkey got those as well, and as we just witnessed, brutality coming in on the Turkish side. Aslan eliminating Scream is not getting much more than that, as Yampy also wants a piece of the cake, but is eliminated by Russ. This is where the Marshall has its wonderful one-shot potential. And the funny thing for me right now, Tom, is right here. You see that they know pretty much what's happening over here on the C side for sure. At the same time, look how much they left over on the A side. Okay, you know what? I want to say something tactical. Forget about it. Just forget about it.
If at first you don't succeed, sometimes it's okay to give up. Because Russ, just waiting on the other side, being given almost just consistent battles. Link going to be the last man standing. Now, the interesting thing, as said, with the recent times of Aslan is, like, he was someone who was previously almost a dedicated Omen. Now, they've started to switch things up with bringing him in on a Reyna in some maps, and also, again, on this map, throwing him up as a Phoenix. And I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like, not that his talent was wasted or anything on the Omen, but he just has that individual ability where he can take over a map, take over a round. Similarly to what we see from Angel, but ignoring the sort of like, the in-game leader side of things. Just his individual ability is off the chains. And, well, this round was almost squeaky clean. Russ just taking fight after fight, making it look very easy. Now we get the bonus round, though, and this is where we almost now expect Zesh for Liquid to start building into this map a little bit.
And as they've all bought up, got the right kind of rifles in their hands. The interesting part for me here, Tom, is that from a statistical point of view, it is BBL actually being quite decent on retakes. When we talk about the A side, 47% of the retakes work, and most of them like, wait a second, that's less than a half. Yeah, sure, but it's still, I mean, considering retakes and the meta, quite strong. About the B side, it's 69% of those retakes working. Strong, in my eyes, not too bad this time around. Link is just outplaying that, not like this, and this is where you get A short control in a very astute manner.
Ooh, aggressive stuff from Russ. going to battle for this A control. And again, it seems they've got the read correct. They've left AIM DLL with his utility into mid, but the pressure's still going to be coming in. Aslan just goes for the wide swing. Almost gets 3, but 2 will do. Making things already an awkward battle. No chance to bring any of those players back. And I feel like Scream has almost been cursed in the early stages. Has been wrecked in the pistol round, wrecked in the second round, and now has already fallen in the third.
This is where I would love to have a statistic. What's happening when Scream is not performing in the first 5 rounds? How does it go with Liquid? Unfortunately, can't tell you. But it's definitely dark times for Liquid, at least in those first 3 rounds. As you know, there is a buy. This is right now a buy scenario for them, playing mainly against Spectres and a Marshall. We're not done. That's not the thing. But 30 seconds left in the clock, Tom. It could be a better time, but here we go. Kiro actually whiffing the shot, and that's not as comfortable as you would expect. The Marshall's still up there. It's actually daggers being used, but whiffed by Russ, and suddenly the scenario seems somewhat doable. Spikes hitting the ground. The alarm bot knows that someone is flanking, and this is where the better weaponry comes in, because as mentioned, Russ has no more daggers left. 8 points of health. Now finally the Vandal in hand, but that retake ain't be that easy, because they still gotta make that move. Turret's gonna make it. Yeah, but it's Aslan and MDLL actually getting the dink. I'm taking that one back. It looks possible. Cryptic's now gonna turn up. He does turn up. One more to the right-hand side. 8 HP. Make it 2 on Russ. And it is way too close for a full buy on Team Liquid to make that one work. They've lost 4 and, you know, didn't even pretty much bring anything through this. And BBL, they were like, yeah, I mean, we just got our Spectres here.
It was so close to Link being dead to that spray as well. Yeah, I think it's hard to call that one a win for Liquid, really. Like, 1 player alive, now things get a little bit tougher. I will say, what we saw initially was an investment from Russ into the operator, but I think they've opted to make sure that Aslan actually has a gun in this round. It might be down to the fact that he does have his run it back. Probably one of the most powerful entry fragging ults that we have in the game at the moment. A free life for him, and while we've already seen the damage he can do with 1 life, dare to think what he can accomplish with 2. A much more static default, though. I think Liquid have started to realize that, okay, they want to push us. They want to take this map control. They want to fight for a lot of early positioning. Let's try and make sure that if they do go for these aggressive peaks, we at least have a trade. And the real value of Sky is that flashing into those angles, hey, it might leave your opponent blind, but it also tells you if there's someone there.
Minion Tiger getting through. And this is where the Sky ability didn't work according to plan. Yampy, I'm not quite sure if anyone has him on the radar. Russ is missing him by seconds, and so he gets a lot of room. Once the smoke in front of AIM DLL fades, I'm somewhat sure that Yampy gets a free kill. Spikes down. Information not gained right now on the side of BBL. Shock Dart is not doing anything as well, but here he comes. Talked about it. Yampy's not finding that kill that I thought that he would easily get. And suddenly the retake's on. The B side that somehow works so good for BBL is still well defended. They're just holding the gate right now. Scream is doing Scream stuff. Still alive he is. And he's going for his ult. Means that he's quite okay with health. Still, Russ is definitely gonna fight him. There comes the smoke. The fuse might be just initiated. As though the fake. It's only just a few more left. That means Lego can try, can find one. Oh, just does that, but window is still guarded by Cryptics. And the kill is his. But again, can we call that a win, Tom?
I'd give him that one. Both teams on a 4-buy. I don't think the economy game plays such a big part going into this next round. It only really mattered if they were broken here, so I don't expect to see much of an investment at all. Scream does very well here. Like, even though a lot of this is just wasting time, the fact that he's able to hold them back for such a ridiculous amount, and by the time they actually get onto that defuse, it's almost too little too late. So good work by Liquid to hold the line. And now, as said, this is where things are going to get quite a bit tougher for BBL because they're only working with pistols.
A lot of room they wanted to deny here early on in front of C. Coming in with the gravity well, but that all doesn't matter. Cryptic's on his own, sees the garage players, and this is where one smoke coming in, a single one by Link, should pretty much give them the safety. As I say that, he's just pushing for the smoke. He's just pushing for that smoke. It's ridiculous, but it's working.
Can they make this any more costly. Even a death here will bring the Hunter's Fury online. For Russ, it would have been nice to at least do a bit of damage. But there you go. That's more what we expect from Liquid. They make things look clean and clinical. A strong round for them to take home. And now we get into the nitty-gritty. And what I mean by that is Russ's operator. Like, we talk about someone like CNED. He's someone who's been highlighted within the European region for so long because of his aggressive operator. Well, if you think he's aggressive, wait until you see Russ. This man likes to challenge for all sorts of map control. I think towards C especially, he's going to be a bit of a menace. And this is now a completely different defensive side, because this means that BBL can take far more risks. Now, we're already going to see a slight spot coming out into A. Interestingly, they've actually left Kiro as the lone defender, but I assume if there was a fast A take, he'd almost look to just fall away and they'd play it as a retake.
Crazy part for me about Russ is the man has nearly a 65% entry success rate, which is crazy to think about. 65 is a big number, but Star has been spotted by Soulcast. They're just waiting in front of the gates of A until they get all the siege tools out. Starting off, Soulcast is trying to clear the site. They dash through, and now they most definitely know about the player waiting back in spawn. They still go for it. Russ is so close, so nearby. Yumpy is just waiting in the corner. His daggers could play a crucial role.
I'm almost a little bit disappointed he doesn't have himself a shotgun. We're going to see a counter ult thrown in. Both teams trying to deny the latter, and actually it hasn't really worked so well. Yumpy's going to have to try and push through, and instead he's just caught from it. The remaining players holding back, and the Seeker's expended in an attempt to maybe pick one off. The spray from Scream, actually not going to be finding much, but his Cryptics instead, the flash, even catching a teammate, and they're just diffusing. They've denied the first, but there's still plenty of players that could jump on Russ, and Lego finding kill after kill, and they're diffusing this spike. The spam almost comes through. In fact, it does catch it. Is there time left for Russ? I think he's just about got it, and it will be the round to BBL. Back and forth, another where only a single player survives, but this time it's the Turkish roster to come out on top.
Less than a second. Unbelievable, really. I mean, they were trading diffuser and diffuser and diffuser again and again. Cryptics. You know, it's not trying. He was enforcing that second duel on him. He was like, okay, I'm just going to play time. The second guy can't defuse, but Russ with the perfect reaction. Going into an aggressive fight, getting the dog tags, and then defusing that with less than a second. Absolutely amazing. This is, I think, the game where you will find a lot of clips later on, because right now on the server, Tom, there are so many individuals that just are known for those flashy plays.
Well, yeah, I think there's a reason that out of all the teams we have in the tournament, these are two of the most popular from them. Like, they are exciting to watch. They have some of the biggest names in Valorant right now. By the looks of it, I think Liquid are going to give this another go. After the last round being so ridiculously close, they managed to get into an afterplant quite easily. And also, you have to bear in mind, there's no lockdown this time. So if the same sort of control is garnered, it could be quite a bit more difficult. Russ actually going to peek through the edge. He wanted to find them an early pick, but nothing will come from it. We're also going to see the counter utility thrown out, and actually they hold him in with the Gravwell and slam him down with the shock darts. A lovely combo coming in from BBL, and that gives them a two-man advantage in the retake.
And so they gravitate towards victory, that's for sure. Cryptics finds one, but he's trapped in that corner. Soulcast and Yumpy man this advantage, but individually Yumpy is capable of doing so. Starts good, but truly is losing his head a few seconds later. Excellent stuff again by BBL. This is what I mentioned. Their retake capabilities on this map, just wonderful. And not only that, Tom, another run it back. Aslan is giving himself a second life in this next round, and most likely is going to benefit from it either way.
Well, you'd hope so. You'd hope so, at least. There is still cash available for Liquid, so it's not really the end of the world. I have to say the nice little combo there coming out from Sova and Astra. It's always something you're going to enjoy seeing. But nonetheless, It is going to be the lead taken once again for BBL after what was a fairly dominating early start. Bear in mind as well, they have this big focus on making sure Russ is going to have that operator. So one of the problems that we always see with that Jet AWP in particular is the fact that you do lose it relatively often, especially when rounds are so ridiculously close. So the fact that they have this focus is good. And they have not changed their setup, by the way. Like, sure, the utility from Killjoy has moved a couple of times, but they are more than happy to go, you know what, you want to keep going A, we'll just keep retaking A. And it's exactly the same. Falling all the way back towards the spawn, and Liquid going, you know what, third time's the charm.
Yeah, it seems like we have watched this before, but it's not a broken record. BBL getting a lot of information out of this. Could potentially prepare something for Aslan, but nope, Scream is taking the room, pushing into the spawn. Here is the accuracy from Russ for you once more. He senses it when they're coming too close. Team Liquid, the prancing horse in blue, right now in a situation where it would be about goddamn time to once more find success. Here comes the divide. Aslan is joining. Here is his ult, and they're all spotted. It is Aslan finding one after another. Russ is joining that. Means Cryptics and Soulcast are the only two. Oh, Russ is actually saving it. And it's working again and again. The defuse in favor of BBL. And once more, the A sites, they know how to retake this place.
They had a good counter to it as well. Like, the fact that each time Team Liquid have tried to come in with some different adaptations, like the first round things came down to a very close clutch. The second they try and switch up their afterplants a little bit, getting a little bit more aggressive here. And then in this round in particular, they have the divide just to basically go, okay, you've changed up your plant spot, we're going to make it even more difficult. And Cryptics, you know, he gave it a damn good try, getting 3 kills in the latter stages, but it's more just what Aslan's able to do. Like, the second that divide goes down, there's almost that thought in the back of your head, you're going, okay, they're trying to defuse this, they're trying to body block us coming back through, whereas Aslan's saying, well, they're all waiting on the other side, might as well go meet him.
Might as well do so, Tom. It's seemingly nothing working really at that point in time, at least on the A side for Liquid. Yumpy starting off with a good frag, but Russ, it's really hard seeing him not missing. That is what it feels like with him. As Soulcast is trying to flash Aslan, he pretty much got another one to throw out the door. Not happening for now. Rotation from Liquid is back in front of the A site. And I very much like this, Tom, because you see BBL not putting too much emphasis on the A site because it feels like they are very much aware that, first of all, holding that side with one player alone, nearly impossible, right? First of all. Second of all, it feels like their retake is just way too much on point for now.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's going to be a 4th attempt. You know, I've heard that, like, third time is lucky, something along those lines, but clearly Team Liquid think it's the 4th. I understand it. If you're given a site for free, it almost gets to the point where it's disrespectful, the fact that you're able to take this so often, but there really isn't much fear. Now, straight away, with Cryptics getting so many kills in the last round, he's able to throw down the ult. Now, you can see that Russ is trying to play for this. In fact, it's actually Aslan going forward, but he gets caught out eventually, leaving things into a 3 versus 3. They actually also get one player detained, which is a little bit interesting. The push coming back through, and this time it's looking a little bit more dicey. They don't have the ultimates to clear out. They don't have those cheesy strategies to play through, and the crossfires working out this time. Lego, however, does manage to pick one from the heavens, but if they're going to go for this, they need to move now, and instead they've opted just to make things costly, and Scream trying to clear them out, but it will still be every man falling for Liquid. They do finally get one of those holds working out for them on A, but they do still lose all of their players.
The thing is, I mean, nobody's perfect, don't get me wrong, but this was once more a play that, you know, an aim duel where I thought, wait, this is something that Scream doesn't usually lose, right? This one right here. That's not a Scream kind of play. This is not something you would usually see from him. And the scoreboard for me is extremely intimidating right now. Yumpy on 3-9, Scream on 4-8.
on 15.
That's and again, do you remember the entry stat on Cryptics?
Wait, does he have as many kills as his whole team combined?
It looked like it, doesn't it?
Was it 4-4-4-3? If my maths is correct, which it usually isn't, He has the same as his entire team. Yeah, his entry stats are not great, but he's not the entry fraggers. Like, it's funny to look at that stat, but realistically, it doesn't make much sense to talk about it much. But he's been doing very well in those after-plant scenarios. Unfortunately, it's just been the rest of the team that have been struggling to get anything done. They're going to switch things up and move into a Lego. Already actually hits the instant headshot. A player obviously hit an 8 DLL has just destroyed Liquid. Left them running away. Cryptix once again has to try and clutch this one out. A 1 versus 3. He's been good so far, but I'm not sure I believe in this one.
Especially when, you know, you gaze into the barrel of Ruz. I believe, Tom, that this is all a simulation and conspiracy theory against all my predictions. So
it's either I'll give you an option. Either it's a conspiracy against all of your predictions, or all of your predictions are bad. One of the two. I can't quite.
I can't see the second one.
No, I can.
No. I do not. I don't. Right.
To be fair, anybody who is trying to look like a genius, if you see the predictions come out for the day, whatever Zesh said, just say the opposite, and you're almost definitely right.
Definitely.
Especially if Mitch and Zesh go for the same, that is 100% going to be wrong. Like, there's no way that could be correct.
If I'm not totally wrong, Tom, from 7 games in the last stage, I got 1 correct. I mean, I threw 1 away by saying CE Calling would win, no disrespect.
Wow, that's mean. You didn't think that CE Calling... How could you disgrace your German brothers like that? Kick him out of the country. I live in Austria now. Kick him out.
Anyway.
Oh, they already did.
6-4. And it's BBL in an excellent shape right now, really. And Yampi going for such a fight. He's not missing. I swear to God, it's Russ getting 1 entry after another, and there's no way you're gonna overcome this force in form of him. Really, BBL, they always have a man advantage. They're always 1 step ahead. Funny how wise whiffing this one, but at the same time, I hate you, Tom. Either way. Let's take a look at that. DLL, time, frags found, another whiff, but unfortunately, there's a dart coming. You know, Scream was even finding another headshot, and AMDLL was like, yeah, I can turn this one around. And then it's a shock dart.
Round in the half.
7-4. BBL looking very, very good at this stage of the game, and sure, we know that Russ is that sort of rotational operator. It's more likely that he'll do a lot of damage when it comes to the defense, but at the same time, I am starting to get a little bit worried for Liquid. Bear in mind, this is their map choice. As said, this is the comp that, against like the better teams from Turkey, didn't really seem to work too well for BBL. I want to give credit to Fenerbahce as well for actually being able to take them down, but from what I've seen so far, it looks like they're very comfortable in the way that they're playing. Like the utilization of Astra in combination with agents like Sova, also the way that Aslan picking up the Phoenix, it just looks like it fits his play style. I don't know. I'm liking the look of BBL so far in this match.
I fully understand why. I mean, especially when we talk about Turkish teams, as you've mentioned a little earlier, they're not that comfortable with Astra. They're not, you know, that innovative when it comes down to compositions, or at least what, for example, you sometimes see in Europe, which is not a bad thing because if it works, it works. But I love this Astra play right now we're seeing. Scream is trying to push through, nice flash, and still a fight that he doesn't win. This is usually a free frag. This is usually where Scream go kill works so perfectly well. And Russ again,
you should run.
Finding the easy one. Scream eliminated as well. Both Killjoy ults are out. Sure, that's nice and great, but Cryptix doesn't stand a chance when there's also the ult of Sova coming in. They're both sucked in, and they're detained now. This is so unfortunate. The last player. The dart.
That was perfect from BBL. Perfect. That's the only word you can use. Forcing them back into the corner with the ultimate out from Killjoy. Then they put in the gravity wall to suck them further into the corner. Then they have the dart to scan them while they're in the corner. And then they have a shock dart. Like, it was almost like they were writing the script for this round. They were like, right, and then they do this, and then they do this. The end. 8-4 half. Solid stuff from BBL. I'll admit, I've seen a few of the demos of the team. I've been looking back to try and catch up, ready for the broadcast. I don't know if I expected them to be this good. Like, I've been impressed. And sure, some of the players on the other side of Liquid have been a little bit quiet. Like, where we're not seeing that same sort of, almost even the 1-for-1 from Yumpy. It looks like he's struggling a little bit. But again, it just looks like he's being picked apart by how Russ is able to just take the exact fight wherever he's going. We'll see. A pistol round victory for Liquid, and this definitely isn't a done deal. We know that there's a balance to a map like Haven, both sides being viable, and especially with the amount of information that could be garnered by Soulcast, the aggression that we see a lot from Yumpy and Scream. It's not done, but I do think they need that pistol, Zesht.
Absolutely, I'm on your side right here. And you know, there's a low sample size when it comes to pistol rounds. At the same time, 50%, roughly 51.5 of the pistol rounds on the attacker side go in the way of Liquid. On the defender side, it is nothing else than 66.7. So, yeah, this could be where the momentum shifts again. We saw it earlier on Icebox. Let's see if Liquid can do the same as FPX did. Russ is fully blind, still doesn't take a single bullet through that smoke. And as Russ and Co enter it, they still overcome the majority. It's only one man, it's Yumpy. Unfortunately, he has not been so active throughout this game yet. As a Jet, you would usually expect him somewhere on top of the scoreboard, close or nearby, second place maybe. But this is now his chance. This is now his possibility to overcome the Turkish opposition, to be able to show that he is still here on the server, that he is still there to pick it up. And suddenly he gets Sting, 20 points of health, a bit of the edge of the smoke. He was a bit on the edge of the corner. He can't find it. And the 4K from Russ in the pistol, sealing the deal for BBL.
Let's put it this way, Zesh. There's only one Jet on this server at the moment. I
24.
don't want to BM, but 24 kills for us, 4K in the pistol. He's died 5 times as the player that's been taking the majority of the opening battles for his squad. This is a masterclass. And as said, out of all the maps that I saw, this was the one where I was like, I feel like it might be a little bit shaky just because of the amount we've seen this comp come out from them. I'm happy to hold my hands up and say I was wrong. Liquid, they have got a real point to prove, and you know what? It's going bad enough that they're going to take the risk here. They're going to force at least on Scream. Also, a little bit of investment coming in from the other players. We've seen him do this before. I think specifically more so on a Reyna, because once you get that kill, you basically get to heal up all the way to full. You also get the armor for free. Not quite the case here. And while the start is almost going to be the same. Who would have guessed it? Russ with an opening kill. Could never have predicted that.
No way. I mean, the statistics don't tell you that. The last few rounds never given us this kind of idea. Liquid are running on E. They got a puncture and at the same time also a backfire. It's absolutely right now a sinister scenario
Be faster.
for the British core. And as Russ once more starts to find the frags, starts to eliminate one after another, it feels like he really wants to obliterate them entirely. Big damage dealt, 15, 38, and 100. This is looking definitely not good for Liquid right now.
Enemy remaining.
One kill coming in off the Molotov screen. At least trying his best to make this one costly. I'm sure they'd like to pick up that Bulldog, actually. With the amount they've currently got invested into SMGs. Name DL actually being caught out by his own teammates. Suck, as many are calling it. Is going to get caught out a bit. But the thing is, you notice Russ peeking towards the end of that round. I wonder if that was almost on purpose to try and get in the ultimate. I didn't catch whether he already had it online, but an all-in play where it's just like, okay, if I die here, I get my Blade Storm. The thing that's curious is, actually, it's not even curious. It shows the confidence of this man. He has his Blade Storm into this round, and he's still taking the rifle, almost as if it's like that flex of like, well, yeah, guys, I could give you the rifle and play the Blade Storm, but then I wouldn't have a rifle. Why would I do that?
I mean, both seem similarly effective, to be fair. I mean, he can make it work with both, and it's really sad to see how Team Liquid got eradicated here on the first map. Those two key figures, right, are just right now just not on the server. This is unfortunately what it feels like when you take a look on the scoreboard, when you take a look at the previous few rounds, but this doesn't mean that it can't change. They go low HP eliminated, and they are still going for it. Kero definitely wants to find Yumpy anytime soon, but they still gotta defend the side. First of all, Scream's eliminated, same in the meantime. Comes in for the young Finn, and in a matter of seconds, they pretty much slammed them against the wall. and soar over the map. Once more round found, and they gravitate towards a phenomenal victory on not even their own map pick.
Yeah, this would be a statement. I think that's the best way to put it, because I know that there will have been a lot of Turkish fans, a lot of Turkish analysts coming into this and being like, okay, you better watch out. And I think a lot of the time you look back at some of the demos and you can only take so much, because we haven't seen them play against the other regions other than a few exceptions. But yeah, to come in here and do this to Team Liquid in the manner which they've done it, statement and a half. It's the first map of a best of 3. We do know that sometimes teams can start a little bit slow. But coming into this round with 4 rifles, the operator actually coming in onto Yumpy as well. This basically has to be it for Liquid. If there's going to be any manner of return in this map, I want to see this one squeaky clean. And for BBL at the moment, it's patient. They're waiting for any level of aggression. They're watching to see any pressure taken from their opponent. But in fact, other than a slight peek coming in over on A, there's not much here at all.
There's not much here at all. Now they definitely know where Cryptix is. The dart eliminated immediately, and there's Yumpy finding a frag. This is the operator of the Finn, starting when needed. Though he's already been taken out of the equation. Russ tries his best, but 1 point of health. Is it gonna be Link Fallen? Ain't the case. You predicted it, here it comes. Liquid are fighting back, and finally they kick up some dust. It was about goddamn time. The clock was ticking for them, but they stay alive for another one. The question though is, for how long overall? 5-5 and I'm sorry, but the score 5-5 and 5 is so unfortunate, really, so unfortunate.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about Zipan looking to like break records. Russ coming into its first match in EMEA is getting pretty close himself.
Is that
7,700. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not the record keeper. You're the stats man. Lothar's the stats man. I'm a mere mortal in comparison, so I don't know what the record would be. I also am not going to work out the average combat score from the combat score, because you'd never do maths on air. That is something to any broadcaster, anybody looking to get into broadcasting. Don't do it, because even if you're 100% sure, you still might be wrong.
What do you mean? You don't have a degree in advanced mathematics in Harvard?
No, I have a degree in marketing, which is basically about as valuable as the piece of paper it's printed on.
Good one. Very good one. But in the meantime, let's see how good it's going to be for Liquid. They have to make a long run, a marathon, you might say. And as Link is starting off good, finds Aslan, Russ always has a reply ready. The A side somewhat weakened. Soulcast, he's trying to fake Russ. A good effort, but both don't find each other. Actually, Soulcast coming out of that with 100 points of health. Fortification is coming in with Scream. But again, there's a plenty of time left for BBL right now.
I'm still looking at that Blade Storm. I was expecting it to be used earlier. It seems like Russ is almost saving it for the perfect moment. The drone utilized just to clear any of those close angles, finding any information about the depth of the site. Okay, screw the Blade Storm. Man, don't need it. Another pick onto Soulcast. We're going to see Scream try and turn the tide. The run it back, going straight in. He's running into a stack of players. They were waiting for him. They were watching to try and find the peak, and Russ just goes alone. He is tearing them a new one. Every time they face his crosshair is another death for Liquid. And Cryptix, he's been the saving grace, the shining light. But he's gonna get nothing. See you later. Russ is on the server, and Cryptix is gone.
Match point.
This is getting ridiculous right here. I mean, he is an absolute maniac so far, really. The Grim Reaper with the Liquid logo right now on his chest. He's knocking at the door. Can I come in, guys? Because this is where he takes them out one after another. And this was the thing, right? You saw Russ having the perfect timing that this run it back of Scream didn't see it. If it was 100% intended or a slight bit of lucky, we don't know. It doesn't change the matter of fact that it was somewhat of a game changer for this round.
Well, it is the last-ditch effort. A deep position taken by Scream, one of the only players with a rifle in hand. Only one man up against him, and this time he does manage to shut down the behemoth of Russ. Although the face back in, the flash, I felt like it was a little bit late. I don't know. I assume they were trying to use that to get away. Instead, Scream will be traded out. Now, DLL has taken a lot of damage in response. So I would still say in terms of personnel, maybe they've come out slightly better, but you have to bear in mind the weaponry still being a couple of pistols. I do wonder, though, if Soulcast can get an extra kill, those Seekers can definitely be a godsend for finding out where these players are currently hiding. And in fact, he's going to spot at least one of them now. Although, I don't really know what he expected to happen there.
True. Absolutely.
Ambitious.
Well, sometimes you have
seconds
to be ambitious to turn things around. Right now, it is Link who can turn things around. They pretty much line up for him. Unfortunately, it's not enough, but he dealt a good bit of damage. That is now going to be Cryptics having the possibility to make a change. I think the spike goes down either way.
Spike planted.
And here comes the run it back. Ain't enough. DLL can strike as well. 3 more seconds to make it different. It ain't happening. And now Kiro is actually fairly close. He made a good move. Still, it's not enough time. He finds that flick. Does he find the frag? It's not enough. Cryptics makes them stay alive. It's 6 more, though, that have to be found right now by Liquid. And the search for those is not gonna be anywhere easy.
Yeah, Cryptics is having a worldy of a game as well. Like, it's obviously overshadowed by the fact that, well, Russ is playing incredibly well, but also the scoreline doesn't really sing his true praises. But not only managing to clutch this out, getting it to halfway, the use of the lockdown as well to shut them down initially. Like, Aslan didn't really have much of a choice other than to try and run out into the open or do what he did, which was just try and take some fights and stay alive on the site. So very well played. It gives them a lifeline. Aslan, of course, trying to blind up Russ just to give his opposition a chance. I still think he'd hit the shot. And now, there we go. Yumpy on the judge. I feel more confident in him. I feel like this is his gun.
It's not the operator. It's not the vandal. It must be the judge. But, well, we gotta see if he's actually getting a trial or not. Because for now, it looks like they'll be sent right away. And fortifying the seaside, this is what Team Liquid does.
No charges left.
And this pretty much means right now, Tom, they have full control over A pretty much for free. I mean, it is Cryptics again coming in, up from heaven. And as he's trying to take down Aslan, no chance. And this is where the nightmare continues. If Yumpy doesn't find this,
No.
the flank is off. And this is where I believe we might have a game close, Tom.
Yeah, I don't really see a way out of this. They're going to have to wait down the lockdown. They've got nothing to deny it. And Aslan, he doesn't even care. Still facing off against them, knowing the angles they'll be playing. And the Seekers, they're expended. They need it here. They need it now. Link, he'll at least be able to find one a second as well. It would need to be an ace for him to close this out. And he's brought it back to 3. The fact is, though, the time almost seems to be gone. He doesn't know where the remaining couple of players are. And even if he did,